There was a woman, years ago, who was down to almost nothing. Rent due, no idea where the money would come from, every anxious thought circling the same drain. And a teacher gave her one strange instruction. Stop begging. Speak one definite sentence, as though the thing were already done, and then move as if you expected it. She did. And within days, a small, specific sum of money arrived not from the direction she was watching, not from the person she was counting on, but from a channel she had completely forgotten about. That woman was one of hundreds in the records of Florence Scovel Shinn, and what she stumbled into was not luck, it was a law. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to hand you that law as a sequence, the exact step-by-step the old teachers used to bring a first, small, definite $100 into a life, not abundance. Not the vague, hopeful wish you send up to the universe and then sit back and wait on. That's the version that never pays. A real $100 you can hold, brought by a law you actually run. And I'll show you why starting that small is the whole secret. Step 1. Name the exact number. The mind cannot act on a fog. Ask most people what they want, and they'll tell you more money. And more money is a wish the subconscious can do nothing with, because it has no shape, no edge, no finish line. Napoleon Hill spent 20 years studying the people who built fortunes, and the very first principle he pulled out of all of it was definiteness, a definite aim, a definite sum. He wrote that you must fix in your mind the exact amount you intend to have, not a range, not a lot, but a number. So we begin at the bottom of the ladder, on purpose, not a million, not 10,000, $100. And I want you to notice the resistance you feel at how small that is, because that resistance is the very thing we're here to fix. You've been taught to reach for the figure that impresses people and then quietly not believe a word of it. We're doing the opposite. We're choosing a sum small enough that some quiet part of you can actually accept it, and belief, not size, is what moves the law. Here is the first thing you do, tonight. Take a card, or a page, and write one line. I am joyfully receiving $100. Put a date beside it. Say it out loud, once. That's all. You have just given the subconscious mind something it has never had from you before, a definite instruction, with an edge it can build toward. Step 2. Assume it is already yours. Now here is where nearly everyone gets it backwards. They think the feeling comes after the money. The money arrives, then they feel good. The old teachers taught the exact reverse, that the feeling comes first, and the money follows the feeling. Neville Goddard built his entire life's work on one line. Feeling is the secret. Not thinking about the wish. Not affirming the wish while your body braces against it. Feeling the wish as already fulfilled. So close your eyes for a moment tonight and ask a simple question. If the $100 were already here, already in your hand, already handled, how would you feel? Relieved. A little amused at how ordinary it turned out to be. Quietly certain, Goddard called this living in the end. You don't picture the money out ahead of you, always one step away. You assume the end. You feel, right now, the calm of the person for whom it is already done. And you do it best in one particular moment, the drowsy minute just before sleep, when the reasoning mind lets go of the wheel and the subconscious lies wide open. Goddard told his audiences to fall asleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. 60 seconds. The 100 already arrived, the relief already real. You drift off as the person who already has it. If this is the kind of teaching you've been hungry for, the actual mechanics, drawn straight from the original sources, take 1 second and subscribe, because this channel exists to teach exactly this, week after week. Step 3. Speak the word as done. Florence Scovel Shinn taught the same law through a different door, the spoken word. She wrote that your word is your wand, that every sentence you speak with feeling goes out and does its work in the invisible, and then comes back to you as an event. And most people never guess how much they are cursing their own $100. I can't afford it. Money never comes to me. I'm always broke. Spoken all day, with feeling, those are decrees too, and the law is impartial. It builds whatever you keep telling it. So we take the wand back. Shinn would have you speak a definite word for the thing, phrased as already granted, and phrased so it can arrive by any means. Something like this. I give thanks that my $100 now comes to me, under grace, in a perfect way. Notice, she does not say how. She does not name the paycheck or the person. She leaves the door wide open and simply gives thanks, as though the thing were already done. You speak it twice a day. Once in the morning, before the world gets loud, to set the tone of the day. Once at night, to carry it down into sleep. And through the day, every time the old sentence rises, I'm broke, it'll never come, you catch it, and you answer it out loud with the new one. That is the wand, moving. Nothing dramatic, just a person quietly refusing to speak against the very thing they've asked for. Step 4. Move your feet. Now we come to the step that separates the people who get the $100 from the people who wait forever. And it is the exact step the dreamy corner of this whole subject loves to skip. Because there is a version of all this that keeps the faith and quietly drops the works, the person who speaks the decree, feels the feeling, and then sits down to wait for the universe to do their part for them. It never comes that way. Not because the law failed, but because the law was only ever going to move through you, not for you. Every one of the 4 teachers said this in their own words. Hill organized faith into plans and immediate action. Shinn followed every decree with what she called the act of faith, a physical step that showed you truly expected it. Goddard said the assumption must be lived in, not merely admired. The word sets the direction. The feet prove you believe it. There was a young fireman in Toronto, buried in debt, going nowhere, who picked up a worn copy of Think and Grow Rich and did more than read it. He acted on it. Within a year, his income had multiplied many times over, and he spent the next half-century teaching people why. His name was Bob Proctor, and he had a name for the thing that stops people at exactly this step. He called it the terror barrier, the wall of fear you hit the instant you move toward the new life. Most people hit it and retreat. The whole game is to feel it and take the one action anyway. So here is your work. Ask yourself, in the quiet, what one small action a person who genuinely expected that $100 would take this week. Send the message, make the offer, list the item, ask for the thing, say the yes you've been avoiding, then do it before the fear has time to talk you out of it. Step 5. Let it come by any channel. Here is the final step, and it is the one that feels like doing nothing, which is why it is the hardest of all. You release your grip on how. The beginner's instinct is to decide exactly where the money must come from, this client, that job, the person who owes me, and then to strain toward that one door. But strain is only fear wearing a busy face, and it quietly slams every other door shut. Shinn taught non-resistance. You speak the word, you take the act of faith, and then you let infinite intelligence choose the channel, because it knows 10,000 routes to you that you cannot see from where you stand. And this is the part that will surprise you when it happens. The $100 will almost never arrive from the direction you were staring at. It comes in sideways, an old debt repaid, a refund you'd forgotten about, a bit of unexpected work, a gift, a rebate, the sale of something you didn't know anyone wanted, from a channel you weren't watching at all, exactly like the woman we began with. And when it lands, something happens inside you that no amount of reading could ever produce. The first time you spoke that word, a louder voice called you a liar, and nothing moved. But now, a real, unarguable $100 is sitting in your hand, arrived by a road you never watched, and the doubt has nothing left to say. You don't hope the law is real anymore. You have watched it move. And that is the whole reason we start this small. Not for the $100, for the proof. Because proof is the one thing that finally turns knowing into believing. So there is the sequence, whole. Name the exact sum. Assume it as already yours. Speak it as done. Move your feet through the fear, and then release the how, and let it come. 5 steps the old teachers would recognize on sight, because every one of them came straight from their pages. And here is the honest truth about that first crossing. From hoping to knowing, it is far easier to make when someone walks each day beside you. That is the one thing I built for exactly this moment. It's called the 1-4 Day Money Magnet. 14 days, 1 short email, and 1 simple task each day. The 4 teachers' work distilled down into a single daily practice aimed at your first $100 on purpose. It asks a small price, because only the people who commit ever see the law move. But if you go through the 14 days and the 100 doesn't come, you email me, and I give every penny back. The risk is entirely mine. It's the first link in the description. So start tonight. Write the number, speak it as done, and go and get your proof.